All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name's Aaron Whittier. We're excited for you guys all to be here tonight. Maybe you've been invited here tonight from a friend that told you about these incredible devices they've been using, and maybe you saw some information on social media where someone said, "Hey, you got to jump on this and see what's going on with this company." Or you've been invited here because you heard there was an incredible opportunity here to kind of be the first to see something in our country and really most countries around the country, so around the world. So I'll share my story in a little bit, but I want to get right to it tonight. Yeah, I have been an entrepreneur for 30 years now and just really excited about what we're doing here. This might be your first time seeing this information. Could be the second time, could be the third time, but or if you're watching the recording, someone gave you this recording. Definitely excited to share a little information with you here tonight. So first of all, we all understand kind of what's going on, in our country and really around the world right now. Two big challenges no one prepares us for growing up really is in especially in our country in America, is proactive wellness, strategic timing, and real leverage. We're going to talk about a few of those tonight and talk about the problem that we have in this country, especially in America. The healthcare industry right now, we all understand how, the crisis that's going on in our country and we spend trillions yearly. We all know chronic illness is rising. Daily prescriptions is, increasing drastically right now. And that's because, listen, 42% of Americans are obese. It is what it is. We're much more inactive than we've ever been. I like to see these videos on social media of growing up in the 80s, how we were always riding our bikes, always going outside. And today we just don't do it. Our kids don't do that. We're just not really as active as we should be. And, because we are spending 9.5 hours sitting down, and that increases risk of cardiovascular issues and so many issues, right? So we all know that. And, 70% of adults right now in the US take at least one prescription drug daily. And over their lifetime, look at that, 50,000 pills the average American ingests over the lifetime. That's crazy. That's a problem, right? But that's what we do, right? That's what we do in our country, right? We work off the reactive model. We wait for symptoms to arise. We diagnose them and then we prescribe them, right? It's a little bit different than different countries out there, other countries out there where, they are proactive, right? So listen, we all understand right now that, the global wellness industry right now is experiencing massive growth. And a big reason for that, you may have heard this term biohacking. Maybe you've heard that, which includes PEMF therapy. We're going to talk about that tonight, red light therapy and recovery tech. And there's a major global shift in how people approach health right now. People want drug-free solutions. They do. People are searching for those things, right? The world's shifting towards prevention, not just treatment. I mean, it's happening before our eyes right now. In tech and health emerging, AI guided wellness tools. I mean, AI is, changing the game here, right? At home devices replacing clinical visits. I mean, think about it. If you can get an at home device instead of going to the doctors, would you do it? Of course you would, right? And PEMF is now gaining momentum. What's driving PEMF growth the most is our aging
I
population.
don't think she realizes how much.
It's increased technology, right? Increased chronic conditions and demand for home use therapy devices is a big deal, right? And growing awareness of alternative therapies. There's a few things right now that's driving this boom right now, right? So that's where our company Olylife. You may haven't heard of the company before. You may have heard of it, but it work on the proactive model, support the body daily, improve resilience and optimize function. And here's a little background on this company. Company is just over 3 years old right now. It started in Singapore, grew like crazy in Malaysia, in all these different countries, China, Hong Kong, Japan, Indonesia, all these Asian countries. It grew like crazy because listen, they're different. They approach wellness different than us Americans, right? And not just us Americans, Europeans, South Americans, right? There's a lot of different countries that don't really do what Asians do. Their culture is very different. But you look at 3 years of the research here in all life owned laboratories in Sweden and Germany. Our tech comes from there. Also, these tech devices are made with advanced chips with rare metals only found in Japan. There's thousands of global patents on these devices. I'm going to show you these in a second. There's European certifications, and look at those home offices there. There's home offices in a lot of different Asian countries, and soon to be home offices here in America, Canada, Japan, Korea. This company's expanding drastically. I mean, it's going crazy. It's breaking records right now. And really the reason is because of this technology and the timing of everything, right? But you look at the revenue here, they're doing 80 plus million per month just in Asia. They did $1 billion in 1 year, their second year in business. Not many companies in the world have ever done that. They created 500 millionaires on the business side, maybe not here for the business, but they created 500 millionaires just in 3 years in Asia with this tech company. And they're shipping to over 180 countries now, not 152. They've expanded that over 180 countries. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We're going to get into them here, but like I said, there's a lot of global patents. There's certified innovation you can trust. All the patents are here. There's a lot more than 167 patents out there now. And we're going to hear this word here, PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field. You're going to hear about this. We're going to talk about this in a second, but the core technology philosophy is PEMF and terahertz. So it's not just a PEMF device. There's a lot more to it. And that's why this company is really going crazy, is because they've merged two incredible things together in these devices. But you look at what these devices do, activating and revitalizing cells, promoting meridian flow, detoxification. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. What I want you to do, before I forget to tell you this, what I want you to do after you get off this Zoom or watch this recording, go to, whatever AI you like to use, ChatGPT or whatever it may be, and just do yourself a favor and just ask ChatGPT, what are the benefits of PEMF? And what you'll see on there, it's all positive. It's absolutely all positive that you'll find. All these findings, it's all positive, which is incredible. So, talk about this therapy here. It was originally developed by NASA to support astronauts' health in zero gravity environments. And you look at what it does, encourages cell repair and regeneration, supports healthy circulation, inflammation. It does all these different things. We look at these astronauts here when they came back from space, they really can't stand up, right? So they use this therapy. And if you look at this evolution of PEMF therapy, early 20th century, electromagnetic fields were introduced through electricity, radio, and modern tech. And then in the mid-late 20th century, growing awareness, researchers began linking excess EMF exposure to possible health concerns. And then 1960s and 70s, the discovery of PEMF, scientists were exploring this to use in NASA. And then in the 2000s, PEMF in wellness started to get a little known in the wellness industry. You might be able to find certain devices in certain doctors' offices, certain celebrities and sports people were using this technology, but it really wasn't there for all of us. It wasn't these devices you could just get anywhere. And then in 2020, look at us now, Olylife innovation, the advanced PEMF with cutting edge user friendly devices designed to enhance everyday wellness in your homes. Okay. The science behind Terahertz, the Tera P90 Plus, which is probably the most popular device here, activates cellular energy, improves blood flow. I'm going to show you a video here in a minute. It's going to blow your mind on what happens with circulation here. But 3 facts it does: cell, okay, energizer, boosts brain and nerve function, supports brain and mood. And here's some of our devices here with Olylife here, the Olylife Therapy 90, Galaxy G1. I know I see some people on here that absolutely wear them all the time and love them. There's Tera P90 Plus down the middle bottom there. That, like I said, is probably one of the most popular, if not the most popular device here. And there's some other ones here as well. The Shaken Massager, the newest device, very, very popular. Works on helps with visceral fat, all kinds of different things. But the P90 here, we'll talk about this for a second. But you put your feet on this device, supports comfort, vitality, and an active lifestyle. Energizes, rejuvenates at a cellular level, supports detox pathways, encourages natural energy flow and harmony. The list goes on and on and on. You put your foot on this device 20 or 30 minutes and you just feel better. People are sleeping better. People are just feeling better. We can't make medical claims here, but there are thousands and thousands of stories of people that may have had a certain ailment that are just feeling better, getting great results here in these other devices here. We talked about the P90 Plus there with the middle with the Revitalux wand there, and also the Frost Age device for skincare. But what I want to do right now is I want to show you this video real quick, and this is kind of just proof. It's a live blood analysis of someone that took their blood analysis before a PMF. You look at their blood there, it's all kind of clumped together, slow moving. And this is after a 20-minute session right here on one of our devices.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. Holy
You
smokes.
look at that. I mean, that's incredible. And that's what these PMF therapy does. It does work on circulation, helps with circulation. It's been, proven to do things like that. So talk about the global eye strain crisis. Listen, we're in front of our computers and our phones way too much, right? Children are exposed to screens for 6+ hours per day. Prolonged exposure to EMFs that may, alter biological rhythms. It's a big problem, right? That's going on right now. And this Galaxy G1, this smart eye massager, listen, my wife told me tonight it's her favorite device. She loves it. It actually relaxes her, which is really good for me, if you know what I mean. If she can be relaxed. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. Ladies, you didn't hear what I just said. But anyway, relieves eye strain and promotes relaxation. These just feel good. I love them. And this shake and massage, like I said, is one of the most popular devices now. If you can read there, supports muscle engagement, encourages circulation and comfort, helps break down stubborn fat, helps on visceral fat. A lot of women are experiencing, lighter periods, a lot of different things there. Just a lot of things for you. You can actually turn it around. It can help possibly with some back issues as well. So that's our devices. That's our tech part here. Get back to the person that invited you on here, and get some more information about our devices. What I encourage you to do, we have actually a Facebook testimonial page, and the person that invited you on here can you invite you to that Facebook testimonial page, and you can read all these different testimonials of people that are using certain devices and getting incredible results. But listen, if you're looking into this, find the Olylife device that fits your needs and take the first steps towards a healthier, happier you. So that's our first part of the presentation tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're here to kind of hear about a little bit more about how you could take advantage potentially of being one of the first ones in our country and really the first ones around the world to take this tech around the world just by spreading the word to people you may know. And listen, I think most people that we know, if you're my age, I'm 55 years old. If you know anybody around my age or older or even younger, is people need these devices. They want these devices. They want at-home devices. So, there is an incredible, probably the most incredible business I've seen in my 30 years in this industry. I've done pretty well in this industry, had some successes, seen a lot of different companies over my 30-year career, but never seen something quite like this. And, my quick story, about over a year ago, it was March 2025, a good friend of mine, Tuan Nguyen, reached out to me and said, hey, this guy Paul. We knew this guy Paul in Taiwan. He was really good friends with him. I had just met him a year previous. He said he's reaching out to me about this company, bugging me for the last 5 months to take a look at this company. He really wants me to me and my wife to open up America because I guess they're really doing well in Asia. He goes, I don't know much about it, but you want to jump on a Zoom with me and learn about it? I said, sure. So we jumped on a Zoom with Paul. Now at the time, I'm going to talk a little bit about money here. And these numbers are really hard to believe. I'll just be upfront with you. But at the time, he was making over $200,000 a month, and he had been with the company for just over a year. So we were kind of shocked. I mean, we've heard of people making a lot of money. We've made quite a bit of money, but not that quick. And so we jumped on and saw these devices. And I got to admit, when I saw the devices, I was definitely curious because, I'm 55 years old. I've done a lot of damage in my body over the years. I have circulation issues. I had pain when I lay down at sleep for the last 5 years. I had throbbing in my legs, heaviness in my legs. Had a hip replacement 2 years ago. Need my right one hip replaced. So I had some issues. So I'm thinking, oh wow, maybe this device could help me. And then we saw the business side. I'm going to talk a little bit about this and show you some numbers here in a minute. But when I saw the business side, both Tuan and I were shocked. We were like, wow, like I've never seen anything quite that powerful and very different because maybe you're like me, maybe you've been in the direct sales industry before, or maybe longer than me, I'm not sure. But just every company I've seen in the past, you had to keep buying product. to satisfy the compensation plan to be fully active in your business, you had to buy a certain amount of product or have a certain amount of customers potentially. And this didn't have that. This was you buy a device, you're in the company and you don't have to buy any more. There's no website fee, there's no cost to running the business. So I saw that, I was like, wow, that's incredible. And then we saw the compensation plan and we were blown away. But the problem at that time for me was the company wasn't ready. What I mean by that is the devices took about 2 months to get to America. There was a couple of people in America back then trying to get it going, but there just wasn't any activity because everything was in Chinese. All the marketing materials, the videos, people couldn't really market the devices. Plus, it took 2 months to get to America, and they didn't have credit card processing, so you had to pay through crypto because Asian countries, they all work in crypto over there, a lot different than us here in the States. They're much more advanced. So I told Tuan, I said, hey, it's not ready. He goes, yeah, I'm not joining either. Tuan actually joined just to kind of quiet Paul up because Paul kept bugging him. So they took a position, and that's the last thing I heard until 3 months later. And Tuan reached out to me and said, hey, Aaron, we're making 40,000 a month. And I go, in what? He goes, Olylife. I go, what? I thought you weren't going to do it. He goes, well, let me tell you the story. What happened was Paul in Taiwan asked the company if they could use Tuan's company. Now, Tuan has a tech company, a marketing company, and he builds websites and they do marketing materials for different companies. So they asked them, hey, can you build English speaking tools for the company so we can go in America, we can go to Australia and Europe and everything else? And Tuan said, sure. So he got his friend Jason on it. And Jason started looking through everything and went to Tuan and said, Tuan, did you join this company? And Tuan said, yeah, I took a position. Why? He goes, I want to join. He goes, this looks incredible. So, because he was looking at everything, he realized how good this was, how good these devices were. He learned about these testimonials, learned about the compensation plan. So he took this device, he joined and took this device to Japan, and it exploded in Japan. In 3 weeks, it went crazy. He brought the devices back to Hawaii, and it exploded in Hawaii. Paul called Tuan 3 months after our meeting in March and said, Tuan, did you see what's happening in your business? And he goes, what business? He goes, Olylife. He goes, no, what's happening? He goes, you got to look and you got to log in. Tuan logged into his back office and they were making $1,000 to $2,000 per day. Now, what I didn't tell you is his wife, Van, she was just previously a co-founder and a CEO of a company called Elamir, a direct sales company. She actually stepped away from that industry, the whole industry as a whole, after about 25 years because the industry was changing. People didn't want auto ships anymore. Everything was going affiliate model. All these different companies and different opportunities were killing the industry, frankly. So she decided no more, and she went off to be an influencer. So she didn't want anything to do with it. And Tuan said, babe, we're making $1,000, $2,000 a day. And so they found out there was no auto ship. There's all these things that they didn't want anymore. Well, this company didn't have it. So they got excited. They started building it quietly. Kept calling me every month saying, hey, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. I'm like, what? How are you making that much money already? And then December, Van reaches out and goes, Aaron, jump on my Zoom. I jump on her Zoom and she shows me her back office and how much money they made. I was blown away just in about 8 months, not even 8 months. So I asked her, I said, do they have credit card processing yet? She goes, no. I said, do they have, is it still taking 2 months to get to America? She said, yes. I'm like, I can't build a business like that. So fast forward to January 24th this year, I see them both post on Facebook. They said they joined this company. They were building this thing privately. Their team did 10 million in sales in just 8 months. No auto ship, no this, no that. And a lot of people reached out to them that I knew and said, hey, I want info on this. This looks incredible. So of course I had FOMO, fear of missing out. I called both of them. They're in
Can I
China.
have a Dos Equis really fast? Chugging it.
Oh, chug that Dos Equis. So anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, that was funny though. So, so basically, I saw them post on Facebook, and they were, you know, I called them up and I said, "Why'd you post on Facebook?" And they said, "Well, we're going to call you when you get back from China. Because 2 warehouses in America stocked with all the devices. There's credit card processing, and they're going to build an office in California." I'm like, "No way!" And they go, "Yeah, when we come back from China, we're going to take over America." I'm like, "No way!" So I joined. Of course, I was gonna. I was saying, I have to do this. And what's happened in the last, almost 90 days has just been incredible. I mean, it's the simplest thing I've ever done. This device is changed. All my pain is gone on my body. My inflammation's gone. My circulation is so much better. I don't have pain in my legs, no heaviness. It's incredible what's happening. Not just me. There's hundreds of people that we brought on board the team that are having great results. But so why is this business a home run? Okay, the product is demonstratable. I mean, you can demonstrate this product. You put your people's feet on this device, they feel it right away. And it's not a huge lifestyle change. You're not going to people saying, hey, try these products, change your skincare, change your health and nutrition products to mine, right? People don't want to do that. That's hard, right? But to say to people, hey, put your feet on this device, or hey, have you seen this device yet before? 99% of people say, no, what is it? They don't have these devices in their home. But when they find out what it does, they want it in their home. So let's talk a little bit about business here, okay? Now, every business goes through three phases. You guys all know this: a startup phase, a growth phase, and stability phase, right? The startup phase where most businesses fail. Well, this company, okay, they did, over $2 billion in sales their first 3 years. And if you look at where we are right now, we're in the growth phase with that red dot right there, right before it's about to get to momentum. That's when it goes nuts, right? And then eventually, years and years later, it goes to the stability phase where just about everybody's going to have a device in their home. That's where it's going. Okay, look at cell phones. Every kind of technology device went through this, right? There was a big boom. Now everybody's got one, right? Well, that's where this company's going. The key to business success is seizing the right moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the right moment right now. And, it's time to seize the moment from startup to growth to explosive phase right now. The entry level for this business is you get a device and you're in business. And it can be used by the whole family. It's global ready. There's no auto ship like we talked about. Daily payout. And there's different levels you can come in. If you want $1,000 worth of products, $1,000 worth of products would be the P90, the foot pedals, the shake and massager. That's $1,000. You can come in for $2,000. You can get higher daily earning potential. And if you're someone that wants to have extras on hand, or maybe you have a business, maybe you're a chiropractor or a doctor, you're going to do trade shows, whatever, you might want to come in a little more, but you come in where you fit in. There's 7 ways to earn. I'm going to go over a few of them tonight, not the whole compensation plan. I'm going to show you a few things here. There's no joining fee. Yeah, I know. That's rare, isn't it? Normally is a certain amount to join the company. Then you got to buy all kinds of products. Then you got to keep buying products, right? Not here. No subscription. Active forever with one-time purchase. You can build international teams, and there's passive potential as well. So let's talk about the structure here. We build a binary compensation plan here. It's probably the fastest, funnest compensation plan out there, where you build 2 legs, a left and a right leg. When you go out there and you share this device with people, now listen, there's many ways to do this. When I asked Twan and Van, I said, how did you do this? How did you build this massive, massive business so quick? Tell me the system. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. How'd you do it? And Twan said, listen, Aaron, I'm going to send you a picture of the P90 Plus because I just signed up. I didn't have my device yet. Send me a picture of the P90 Plus, said, hey, just text this to people and say, have you seen this device yet? I'm like, that's it? They go, yeah. Because 99.9% of people will say, no, what is it? And he goes, then just tell them it's a PEMF device and ask them, do they use ChatGPT? And if they say yes, say, look up what are the benefits of PEMF. And it's funny, when people do that, when people look up the benefits of that and they see it's all positive and then they see, oh my gosh, I could use this device, ChatGPT almost sells the devices for you. It's that simple. I've never seen anything like it. But then if they want more information, we have testimonial pages. We have videos we can send them, right? So this is the simplest thing I've ever done. But when you get your first person that says, hey, I want a device, that first person goes on your left leg, okay, automatically. It's just the default of the company. Now, this is something I've never seen before. And I guarantee you haven't either. And this is something where, like I said, we build 2 teams. Now, when you come on board, there's going to be someone you're placed below. Now, that person you're placed below, when they make money, you're going to make 5% of what they earn. Yeah, you heard it right. You're going to make 5% off the person you're placed below, not people underneath you, but you're placed below. Okay, now if they make $1,000, you're going to make $50. If they make $10,000, you're going to make $500. Now, there's a difference on how much you can make here. If you come in for $1,000 device, you can make up to 3 times what you bought in for. So you make up to $3,000 off the person above you. And then if you come in for $2,000, you make 3 times that, which is 6. You come in for $6,000, you make 3 times that, which is $18,000. And it keeps going down. So when you make money off the person above you, the person below you makes money off you making money off the person above you. Pretty incredible, right? Never seen anything like that before. But this right here is what Blue Twan, not this, actually, the next thing, but you do also make a 10% referral bonus. Basically, when someone comes in for a $1,000 device, that's 750 in volume for that $1,000 device. You make 10% of that volume. So if someone comes in for 1,000, it's 750. You make 10% of that, you make $75. And if they come in for $2,000, that would be 1,500 PV. You make $150. Just a quick little bonus to kind of reward you for sharing the device with people. And if you come in for more than that, you can make more than that. Now, this one here is what blew Tuan and I out of the water when we saw this presentation. I've never seen anything quite like this either. And this right here is why people are making so much money so quick in this company. I've never seen anything like it. Frankly, I've never made this kind of money this quick in any company in 30 years. I'm not even close. There really isn't anything that's come close. And it's not just me. There have been people in this industry for 25 years that are making a lot of money in the first 30 days because of this one bonus here. I've never seen anything like this. So this is what we call a tier bonus. So if you look at here, again, we're building two legs here, a left and a right. Now, let's say you bring in A1 and then you bring in B1. And let's say they just come in for a $1,000 device. You're going to make $375 tier bonus. And then the first person that comes in on the second level, let's say you didn't even bring them in. Let's say A1 brought in A2 and B1 brought in B2. You didn't even bring those people in, but you made another $375. And same thing, it keeps going down to infinity. Infinity. It's incredible. But I'm going to show you how this works in a second here. But if someone comes in for $2,000, both on each side, left and right come in for $2,000, which a lot of people are doing. That's a P90 Plus and the goggles you saw for your eyes, which is $2,000. If both people, A and B, come in for that, you make $750 tier bonus. And if you have two people on both sides, A and B, that come in for $6,000, you can make $2,250. So let me show you how this works exactly. So, like I told you, Tuan and Van, they're leading the charge here. They're, by far, I mean, no one's even close to what they're doing in the States. They built this incredible website for all of us, for our whole team to use. I mean, they've done this right. And, if you know them, you know who they are. They're just incredible human beings. I've never worked with them. I've worked sideline in a couple different companies over our years. We had a lot of massive success in one company in particular. Never got the pleasure to building with them, but I am so glad finally that I'm building with them because they are just special. They are incredible human beings. Can't say enough about them. So they're my sponsors here. So let's just say that's you below me. My name's Aaron. So Tuan and Van sponsor me, and let's say I sponsor you, right? Now, you come on board, you just get started, but, Tuan and Van are out there sharing this. I'm out there sharing this. So Tuan and Van, actually, you just got started, and all of a sudden, Tuan and Van put someone on your left side, okay? Before you even know what you're doing, right? And then I'm out there sharing it, and I put someone down in the next spot below, down the left of you as well. And then let's say, you follow the simple system. You go to a friend or whoever, and you say, hey, have you seen this device? And they go, no. And you go, hey, it's a PEMF device. And you just follow the simple system. They go, I need this device. And they get started, and they're in position 1 here. That's your first person. Now, this is just based on if everybody came in for $2,000, the P90 Plus and the goggles. Now, remember what you make on that? When someone comes in for $2,000, 150 PV, you make 10% of that. You make $150 performance bonus, okay? So then you bring in your second person. That second person goes on your right side. Well, you get your first tier bonus. Now, the tier bonus for that, remember we talked about for both getting 2,000 is a $750 tier bonus. But you also make another $150 performance bonus because you brought that second person in. And then your people our people, Tuan and Van and my people start bringing people in, keep going down your left side, right? That becomes what we call a power leg for you potentially. And then eventually you bring in your third person that goes on the left side of number 2. You get another tier bonus, plus you get another performance bonus. And then you bring in your fourth person that goes on the left. Same thing happens again. And then what happens is your second person, number 2, brings in the first person that goes on the left automatically. And look what happened there. You didn't bring either one of those people on that tier into the business. Neither one you brought into the business, but you still made a $750 tier bonus. I mean, have you seen anything like this ever? you know? And then the same thing happens on that level. You get another tier bonus, but you didn't bring either one of those people in. And then you bring in your fifth person, you get another performance bonus, another tier bonus. You bring in your sixth person, you get another performance bonus, another tier bonus. And you look what happened there. Now, how many people did you bring in? You brought in six, right? Everybody did $2,000 worth of orders. You made $900 in performance bonuses, and you made $5,250 in tier bonuses. You made over $6,000, and you brought in six people. And it was only a total of 14 people on your team, and you made over $6,000. Listen, I've been in companies that had, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, some with tens of thousands, but let's just talk about thousands and thousands of people. And you don't really even make $5,000 with thousands and thousands and thousands of people on your team. I mean, 14 people. That's incredible. I've never seen anything like that. In addition to that, there's volume that you get on both sides there. And there's 1,500 PV, right? We talked about that with $2,000 orders, 1,500 PV times 7 people on both sides. That's 10,500 on the left side and the right side. What does that mean? Well, we have a global pool share here. You get 5% of the company's annual revenue that's shared among qualified members. That would mean you would hit the level of what we call M1. And you look here, M1, 10,000 on the left, 10,000 on the right. You get one share in the global pool here for the year. That's a residual every year. All you got to do is to keep that is you got to bring on one, you got to sell one device a year, bring on one person in a year. Remember, there's no, this doesn't flush. Our volume doesn't flush like most companies where the end of the month, you wake up on January 1st or February 1st or March 1st and your volume's at zero. Doesn't happen here. It keeps accumulating. So once you hit 10,000, then eventually it just keeps growing and growing. You might hit 100,000 and hit M2. You get 2 more shares and it keeps growing and growing and growing. So, Tuan and Van, my sponsors, already hit M5. M5. They hit it in less than a year. It's incredible, right? So I wanted to stress, like we talked about, the main thing why I got so excited about this company, first and foremost, was what this device could do for me. And it delivered. 3 weeks in, pain's gone. I mean, literally gone. My legs feel great. They feel lighter. I have no hip pain in my right hip that I need a surgery on eventually. No pain. That's done a lot for me. That right there is enough. But you talk about what the business has done for me and so many others in such a short time. And the main thing is timing. What I want you to take off of here tonight is the timing of where we are right now. Is the word spreading? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The word is spreading very quickly, especially in the United States, starting to spread in Europe, starting to spread in Australia, South America. It's starting to sprinkle out there. But the good thing about this is the timing, okay? Because if you've been invited here tonight by someone, have you been approached by anyone else by the person besides the person that invited you to see this tonight? I want you to ask yourself that. Think about that. Because if the answer is no, that means probably no one in your network knows about this yet. And you know what that means? If you're the first person to bring something that everybody needs, you can really benefit. And you can help your people benefit if you hurry, okay? And this is not a fear of loss. This is just frankly the truth, okay? We see what's going on with this company and the timing of this. And why is the timing so great? We talked about it. The baby boomers, right? Everybody's aging. I'm only 55 years old. I'm not a baby boomer. But my body's beat up. I need these devices. People need these devices. Not just people my age, people younger, right? They're demonstratable. It's a simple system. Anybody can do this. People that have never made money in this industry are making a lot of money here. Why? Because it's simple. Why? Because of the timing. Why? Because it's demonstratable. Why? Because you really don't have to be a salesperson. Anybody can do it, right? ChatGPT will sell this for you. Okay? AI will sell this for you if you just go look it up online. So you don't have to be great to start. You really don't have to be here. This is probably the greatest quote, but you have to start to be great, right? So get back to the person who invited you on here tonight. Get your questions answered. Listen, I've never seen anything like this. I'll tell you right now. And frankly, I don't know if we ever will in our lifetime see something this powerful. It's a movement right now. People want home therapy, and we have the best combination with Terahertz and PEMF and so many other things with these devices. So I appreciate you guys for jumping on tonight. Thank you so much. We'll do another one next week. Actually, we got a lot more presentations coming up in the next week. We're gonna do something pretty special this coming week. Haven't announced it yet, but it's coming. So get back to the person who invited you on here, get your questions answered, and we'll see you at the top. Take care, everybody, and take charge. Bye bye, everybody.